Yo, what's good, man? Welcome to episode 2 of $50 to 10K by your boy Rich off the exchange. What's up, man? This is day 2, March 12th. You know what I'm going to be doing? I'm just going to highlight and walk you guys through how I was able to profit today off of our London session move and a little bit off of our, New York session move today. So I'm just going to walk you through today's trading, show you the evidence of the actual trade and position taken, and then we're going to look over to what we may be able to expect tomorrow, coming into tonight, or tomorrow, new day. Alright, so first off, right, following what transpired from yesterday, right? So yesterday we had London session, silver bullet session, retrace to a fair value gap, drop low, had some reluctance to go a little bit low and get to this little objective, which was a fair value gap that I have highlighted on the hour time frame. Okay, as you can see, we kind of dug into that, right? But initially, going from yesterday's work, we broke down a little bit and showed reluctance to go in, right? We kind of bottomed out, right? So that was our movement for yesterday, right? So now today we're going into it. As you can see, we had some price action here where we had a range here, okay? We had a range obviously here that was right below. And as you can see with this range, we had that range broken, that structure, those lows broken, even the body of this candle right here was broken all the way down into the wicks, right? So we got real low, okay? So as we see, we have a fair value gap. We have a breaker structure here. So simply put, I'm going to do it just like this. We want to break it down just like this. Simply put, you have a breaker structure right here. This is your range. As soon as it breaks lower, you have that breaker structure. And then we also see it break lower and go below this right here, which was technically a low, right? Because we had a high, we had a low, okay? So we're going to put this as our breaker structure. And with this being our breaker structure, right, we're now waiting to see if we have a fair value gap. And as you can see, we have one here, right? So now this is something that was highlighted and noted and looked to play into going into the next day. Okay, so understanding that, now going into today, once we dive in and go closer, today around 3 or 4 a.m. Okay, so right, there we go. All right, so let's get some organization. Okay, now we know that was Tuesday. This is Tuesday. This is our action for today. Okay, so now that we see, okay, this is Tuesday action, right? Again, so now let me go back. This area, gray area here, was a fair value gap on a 1 hour time frame, right? This was also a fair value gap. This is a bullish fair value gap. This is a bearish fair value gap. So the thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just turn this on red. It's gonna be easier to follow along. Okay. So understanding that was our bearish and this is our bullish, right? So going into London session, right? Understanding, right? So the things that I like to use to understand, like I said in a previous video, episode 1, how I like to understand my daily bias and what I may use to understand what potential price may go in London session, and then use that to carry on into the over expansion of New York session. So what I like to use is I like to use my Asia range, right? My Asia range is my key of confluence to understand where potentially price may go after certain scenarios happen, right? So for me, once I've seen that Asia range, how it's broken, it lets me know that, okay, price necessarily has broken Asia range high, involved a little bit of the buy side liquidity, but it's showing some reluctance to go higher, as we can see, because we're pulling back into this fair value gap, right? So into this fair value gap, I see that at 12 noon, opening price was here. Price struggled to go high, but we're absolutely at this fair value gap high. Once price was relentless to go high, I seen price breaking down, open up at 3 a.m. and start to break down. Okay, so the price getting in and start to break down, That was my entry for a sell, and first target would have been Asia range low, and then from there I would want to target the overall same area of interest that I was trying to get yesterday, which is 1.09 even 1.0900, and I will look to get that. But as you can see, outside of London session, we kind of made a low, and we had some more price action, right? So understanding that, I want to go into GBPUSD. Well, I'm gonna finish EURUSD because I also participated in GBPUSD today with a similar type of scenario. Okay, so but just continuing over with what actually transpired today. Okay, so we had London session, and today we had 8:30 CPI. I think it was actually PPI or CPI data that was released today, right? So that's what created this right here. So initially we had price open up and it shot down, right? So I had a trade that I actually placed here, was able to grab some profit, about 15 pips of profit over here as well again, and then over here I was actually in before 8:30, around 8:28, 8:29, and I had a price shoot down in my favor, and I was actually in profit up for 20 pips, but I didn't close it, and I was kind of unorganized and not focused at the time of observation, and just was kind of like greedy and lurking to be in the market, even though I didn't have to be. But price dropped down into this area of interest, this bullish fair value gap, and I didn't know that because I wasn't that tuned in and locked in. And when it did that, it started to pull back, and I thought that this area may have, completely just bailed out, right? So I was wicked out of the trade, completely taken out, lost a little bit of money, and then right after, as you can see, we kind of gradually broke right back down to that same area. But I kept in mind that this area was of interest, and I wanted to kind of see what type of reaction we were going to get from it. So after seeing that we were going to get some type of bias, some type of bullish reaction off of it, just kind of how the candlesticks were starting to form. What I did was I waited to 10:11 a.m., which is the New York open kill zone, and I used that to be able to understand where I was going to, potentially try to get in for another opportunity for trade, in which I was able to do it. I'm going to, go into the trade and show y'all, but just to show y'all that time frame, right? This is 10 and 11. I was able to take entry and grab a couple pips up. Just a few pips, just to balance it out. I don't think I grabbed more than 10 to 15 pips, something very light. Okay, so now it's just going over into GBPUSD. Okay, so going into GBPUSD, right? The same ordeal, same type of scenario happened, right? Understanding where we're at. So right now, we're at Tuesday. Okay, so yesterday, we had the same type of scenario where we had a structure, we had a low broken, there's a fair value gap. That fair value gap wasn't tapped. Okay, so that fair value gap wasn't tapped. So this is Tuesday. Okay, so all right. So understanding the same thing, how I like to explain how to use my Asia range, right? So again, we had a similar situation where Asia range after price opened up for Tuesday, we didn't quite go low, but we had an Asia range high break first, right? So this Asia range high breaking first, we kind of just waiting to see where we want to go, and then we had a nice drop into London session, right? So I took this trade off of the confidence of confluence with DXY and EU, understanding that GU does move a little more dramatic, a little more high paced than EU does, but understanding that we will get that type of same reaction, and just having faith in the setup. I took this trade, and this trade was actually easier. This one was a straight drop, about 23 pips of profit, and again, as you can see, going into the New York session where we had the release of U.S. data, we had a reaction where price dropped again, dropped, spiked lower, retraced, and continued to break low, just kind of settle out those balances. And then we had another 10, another New York open low, a New York open silver bullet low that was able to be taken for maximum and maxed out about 40 pips, but during the day I only took it for about, I think maybe 8 to 7 pips just on the scraper, just to scrape some of the change back that I was, hustling and muscling on when I wasn't supposed to be. That's just how it goes, right? I actually had a profit, set my trade, got my trade, I was in profit, and then because of the pullback and me, having some type of faith thinking that price will continue to go lower, I told the objective that I was seeking, and it did. It just didn't happen as smooth as I thought, and I was kind of just trying to rush it, just trying to kind of be like real impatient, trying to be real impatient. So that's kind of how I jumped in with today, and then I just want to go into the actual trade that was taken today. And not to mention that, as I'm going to show you guys, the account that we started with was 55. We had a profit of $14.50 that day. That stopped us about at $30. $30, and now today we're at 103. So technically we're very close to 100% overall return on the account, doubling the positions, doubling the balance of the account. And as you can see, for the week today, full pip gain, full pip loss, 3 pip loss. These were the times where I was just back and forth into the market when I knew I wasn't supposed to be, kind of hunting, doing a little bit of rookie mistakes, right? Had some losses back to back, and then these are the trades that, got me back and put me back into play. So total for the week, I'm up $52, almost like I said, 100% of the recount. But today, I made a profit of $38, so about 38 pips, because I'm only using a 0.1 lot size, as you can see. I did scale down low, but nothing higher than a 0.1 here. These were after 2 losses, so I kind of scaled back thinking that price was going to go the opposite way, but I just didn't have that much faith, so I shouldn't even participate. But as you can see, this was when just price was just very volatile and just bouncing around, and I was able to, overall come out on the top, come out green for the day. These positions were taken in the morning. This was 9:54 in the morning, so this is right before 10 a.m. And this is taken, so if this is 9 a.m. for them, this would be 4 a.m. for us. No, 9, so if we're 15, and that was 9. Okay, yeah. Yep. So, as you can see, everything is possible, man. It's doable. Like I said, man, I'm just going to be giving you guys raw content, raw edition, no editing. Everything is just straightforward, how I jump on. Even with, just my presentation and everything is raw and uncut. I'm just trying to give you guys a clear understanding of what you're able to do with this craft, show you guys my journey, and just, get this thing started. So far, so good. We're doubling our account so far. We're going into our third night of trading, which will be March 13th. And let's see what the night holds us, man. Stay tuned for episode 3, man. We're going to get better and better and better each episode. And just stay tuned, man. Tap in.